I'm with Natalie Moses, student at the University of Texas, Austin, studying American Studies, but more importantly, a graduate of the Young Women's Leadership Academy class of 2022. Natalie, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you were going to school prior to enrolling in the Young Women's Leadership Academy.
I went to the Tierra del Sol Elementary School, which is a feeder into the Hanks High School. My mom works at Hanks High School and my dad is a professor at UPCC. So I have a family full of teachers, full of educators. So from the very beginning of my life, it was very pushed that education was something that I need to pursue. And so it never felt like a chore for me to want to reach further and get a good education like my parents did and my grandparents. I'm a third generation college student, so it was just in the cards for me from the very beginning to go right into that.
But when y'all were having the discussion about whether or not you'd continue at, I guess at the time it would have been Desert View Middle School or Indian Ridge Middle School, or take a chance on this new college preparatory school for young women, how did that conversation surface?
Well, I was told of the Young Women's Leadership Academy through teachers at my elementary school, I believe, for the first time. But it wasn't until I heard from my best friend that she was applying that really pushed me to apply as well. I was apprehensive, at least a little bit, about giving up this experience at Desert View, but I was more scared to give up my experience at Hanks just because my mom worked there, my older brother went there. So I felt like it was something that was that I had to follow the footsteps of them to go into. But I knew that what the Young Women's Leadership Academy would give me was going to be a lot more beneficial for me in the long run than what I could have gotten by following the footsteps of my older brother and my mother. So I ended up applying here and getting in, obviously, since I graduated. And I'm very happy with the decision I made.
One of the things that happens too often is that we have students who appear to do very, very well in a traditional comprehensive high school setting. Good grades, great test scores on state-mandated assessments, solid scores, SAT, ACT, then they go to colleges and universities and realize that academically they were not as prepared as they'd been led to believe. How do you feel the Young Women's Leadership Academy has done in preparing you for the University of Texas, Austin? And did you find that academically you would be fine?
Interestingly enough, I've had this conversation with some graduates from the El Paso area, not from this school, and we've discussed the feeling of academic disparity between Texas schools and other schools, or at least El Paso schools, because it feels like we're so isolated from a lot of the rest of Texas, being completely West Texas. And that friend seemed to feel like they were a lot less prepared for the college experience than I felt that I was, because I was in AP and AVID, and this stuff just, I feel, molded me to be a very well-rounded college student, at least to have a better transition from the high school to the college experience, because the experiences are completely different. And even going to this college preparatory academy, I feel that really prepared me, at least not in the classes kind of way, because obviously there's a difference between high school and college classes, but it gave me the work ethic that I needed to just really be able to push myself and to be the quintessential UT student that I believe that I am now.
So you, time management, setting goals, priorities.
Being able to organize myself, that's one of the things I believe that I'm best at, having like a spreadsheet of all my assignments for the classes for the entire semester, checking things off one by one, and then be able to juggle that with doing organization things outside of school time, and then just having time for myself. I believe that the organization tools that I have just really help me become well-rounded and really enjoy my time there in Austin.
So academically you're solid, you're going to be fine. What about the culture? leaving El Paso and finding yourself in Austin, I don't know if you went to a dorm or an apartment.
I am in a dorm. It's so interesting because it was such a culture shock, which is weird to say because it's still in Texas. I didn't even go out of state. But like I said, since El Paso is so far away from everything, just completely isolated in West Texas, I ask people where they're from. They say, oh, I'm from Dallas, oh, I'm from Austin, or I'm from Houston. And those are within like a 5-hour gap from each other. And they ask me, where am I from? I said, I'm from El Paso. They're like, wow, that's far. How far did you drive? Oh, it's a 10-hour drive. Oh my goodness, I don't know how you make that every time. I don't know how I make it either. But it's tough sometimes seeing that these people are closer to their families, seeing that these people are used to the culture that surrounds Central Texas, at least anything that isn't West Texas. But being able to talk to my family and my friends that are still here or outside doing their own school things, it just reminds me that even though I have to get used to the culture around that side of Texas, that I always have my West Texas culture to like fall back on. So it's different, but it's not unwelcomed different. It's just something that I had to get used to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's one, I mean, you've had over that period of time at Young Women's Leadership Academy, I'm sure you've had a lot of contact with students and friends who were not attending a school of this nature. What's one misconception a lot of people have about what happens at Young Women's Leadership Academy?
I think that people see the students at Young Women's Leadership Academy as just having educational goals, and that's it. When I think that what's offered here is a lot more, I don't want to say well-rounded, but the goals here can be a lot broader than just me wanting to go to college. Because like I said, it made me a good college student, but I think that it's also prepared me for things outside of education. So yes, I participated in sports and I participated in other clubs that weren't academic based. So, and I know a lot of people do. A lot of people are in more sports than I do. They do something at least every season. But we're not just simply for the academically minded people. Yes, they do well in this school because we are a college prep school, but I think that there's something for everybody here.
So what would your advice be to a 5th grade little girl thinking about whether or not she should or shouldn't enroll at the Young Women's Leadership Academy?
I think that for young women that are trying to figure out if they want to go here, it's really important to look at what you want your future to look like. If you believe that you're goal-oriented, that either that goal is academic or anything other than that, this school is going to be able to give you the tools that you need to achieve those goals. And for the girls that don't exactly know what their future is going to look like, this school can help you shape out your future as well. I believe that it's just a great option for anyone that feels pushed to get something better, because the better is here at this school, I believe.
So you're an American Studies major. Does that mean you hope to be a teacher someday?
I'm not against going in the teaching path, but my 2 main career paths at this moment are either going to law school, continuing at the University of Texas at Austin or somewhere on the East Coast, or doing an internship with museum curation, something along there.
And you have a demanding, I'm sure, academic schedule that takes up a lot of your time. People like to know, when you're not studying, what do you do for fun in Austin?
Well, I can't say I get off of campus very often because I'm a freshman without a car that is always working. But I love to go on hikes. The hiking in Austin is very beautiful with the lake, Barton Springs, swimming, and the water always freezing. No matter if it's the middle of summer, it's going to be freezing. But it's just really fun to get outside again, and reminds me a little bit of El Paso, but not that much because they don't have the whole mountain ranges that we have here. But there's always something to do in Austin, always, always.
Do you enjoy the football games on Saturday?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. The football games, the most crazy energy. I literally cried at the first football game I went to because we were doing the Eyes of Texas, you know, the alma mater song. and I was my first time doing it, and I just felt so overwhelmed with this sense of like school pride. It was insane.
Alabama.
Oh, it was against the Alabama game. I was there. I got the worst sunburn of my life.
Me too.
Because it was a morning game that Saturday morning, and we were facing the sun as
Me
it was
too.
rising. Oh my gosh, I was wearing a hat, so my eyes were safe, but the entire rest of me red for weeks. It was so terrible. I was in so much pain, but that was the best football game I've ever been to in my life.
That was awesome.
And I don't even care for football either. It was just so fun.
Show us the manual dexterity.
Hook 'em.
You got him. Thank you so much.
Thank you.